Hello, my name is Mark and welcome to I'm Organic Gardening, located in Zone 6B in the state of New Jersey. And today we're going to talk about don't make your tomato plants naked. Those leaves are on there. There's lots of videos out there, and I know they get millions of views on about all this pruning that you're supposed to do to tomato plants. I'm just going to give you my opinion today why you should leave the leaves on those tomato plants. And I'll get right into it. The leaves are solar collectors. They collect sunshine and feed the soil. They do this by making exudates, which is basically just food for the soil microbes. They actually push down sugars, carbohydrates, and proteins back into the soil. The plant wants to feed the soil. It doesn't go the other way around. In turn, the soil gets nutrients back from the plants, but the plants put more energy into the soil than they're actually producing the plant itself. And that needs all the leaves you can get. Think of the leaves as solar collectors. If you remove solar collectors off your roof, you're going to get less energy. It's the same way with the plant. Now, of course, if those leaves are diseased, you should remove them. But if you have no disease, no nothing, you don't remove the leaves, you don't remove the suckers, it's all fine. Now, there's millions of views on different videos about how to grow tomatoes, or reducing the amount of leaves on it, or prune your plants so you get more production. All these videos don't take in consideration the health of the soil. The soil is going to stop your plants from getting blight and other diseases on that plant. Healthy soil makes healthy plants, and healthy plants make healthy food that are nutrient dense to you. And it's all free of charge. You don't have to do anything. Think about not pruning a tomato plant and see what happens. Just try one experiment, and then you'll decide later on that it's less work and less worry. The main thing that these plants are doing right now is growing in real soil. Soil that is native to my New Jersey is sand, silt, and clay. But I'll dig up a shovelful and show you it's mostly clay. It's hard clay. And I don't use any type of fertilizer. I just grow a cover crop over the winter time, which is these tomatoes were planted into, and there's other videos that I showed you doing this. And basically what it is growing a cover crop and just pushing it down and planting those tomato plants in here. These tomato plants are only, I think, about 32 days old. They were planted on, say, June 5th, and they're all indeterminate tomato plants. Some, the varieties in the beginning here that I'll show you, are big beef, and the ones in the back are just heirloom varieties. I have 5 plants here, and I'll give you a better close-up on them very shortly. So let me show you a sample of the soil first. I'll just dig it here. This is my native soil. Let's get a better picture. Here it is, much better. This is my native soil. This is sand, silt, and clay. But you can see here that it's mostly clay. That's what I'm growing these in. And I don't use any type of fertilizer in this area whatsoever, organic or non-organic. Now, let me explain something also to you. It's a very good point. These tomato plants are grown organically, and this applies to organic growing only to keep the leaves on. If you have, let's say, a chemical-based fertilizer that you're using in your pots or in your ground, this does not apply to you because those nutrients go directly to the plant without the microbe use. That's the difference. But basically, chemical fertilizers will kill out the microbes in the soil. I also want to share this fun fact with you also too. In a tablespoon, in just a tablespoon of soil, there's over 1 billion microorganisms living. That's what makes your soil healthy. I'm also a big advocate in it's your soil, it's your garden, it's your property. Whatever you wish to do, that is your choice. I'm also just sharing with you what I do in my garden. If you wish to try it as a method, that's fantastic. If you don't, it's just something that you learn maybe or watch for a little bit, and it's just another view. So here's a view of my tomato plants growing on the trellis, the cattle panel in the background. And you can see that they're all nice and healthy. They're looking good. We've had crazy weather. Most of our weather's been over 100 degrees during the day. Sometimes it's a lack of rain. Sometimes we get too much rain, but they're looking very nice. And these 2 plants at the back, like I mentioned, are heirloom varieties, and you can tell by the shape of the leaves. So with these two perfect examples here is what I'm showing you, that you have to have a mulch on the ground, and that keeps your plants healthy because of soil temperature, like I mentioned before, and everything else. Now, blight, early blight or late blight. This is important to have mulch on the ground, because when that blight lands on top of that mulch, the decomposing part of fungi that's living on that mulch, that's getting eaten to put it back in the soil or bring it back up the atmosphere in carbon dioxide, that fungi, which is called saprotrophic fungi, will also eat those spores because it's organic material. So if you have a nice mulch on the ground and it's decomposing and all the microbes are eating away, that saprotrophic fungi will also eat that blight when it goes on it. Now, blight is always in the air, it's traveling. The amount of it is always determined by storms and humidity. Now, it can travel anywhere from 50 to 100 miles from somewhere else and come back in your garden again. So you need those healthy plants to resist that blight. Now, there's blight resistant varieties out there which are helpful, but the most important thing is a mulch on the ground and plenty of water and plenty of sunlight towards your plant, so that plant can stay mainly healthy. I want to show this example to you. Here's some tomatoes. There's no blossom end rot. I did not add anything to the soil, extra calcium or anything else either, to prevent it from happening. Your soil has all the minerals it needs. The soil biology takes the minerals that are in the soil, make it into nutrients and feed it back to the plant. That's why the plant works well with the soil. Now also too, all these tomato plants are connected with mycorrhizal fungi. So if this plant is being eaten by something or being attacked by a disease, it sends out a signal to other plants in the area, warning of it, and then it can bring in more nutrients to combat that off and keep that plant healthy. I'm going to show you this also. Here we have a sucker, this one right here. It's growing right between the main stem and also this large branch of leaves here. So if we follow it up here, you can see right here that we have lots of flowers on that, and that's going to produce tomatoes also too. So suckers do produce tomatoes, so it's all right to leave them on. The only thing you have to do is learn how to support them better, and they'll produce more tomatoes on your plant. I want to thank you very much for allowing me to share my opinion with you. If you have any good growing information about what I just explained, leave it in a comment below. People read the comments all the time and they learn from them. It's more important to me to know that you're understanding it and enjoying gardening like I am. So please give it a thumbs up. I'll talk to you again shortly with another video. Enjoy your day. Thanks.